to have witnessed the events of 1976 firsthand, "That's not punk," was the phrase that most commonly greeted these Aravistes from the generation that followed, fell like drizzle. For millions of younger listeners, the class of '94 were the real thing. In other words, they were the real thing. Billie Joe Armstrong inhabited a world where he could be found smoking my inspiration. 18 years after the Sex Pistols' Johnny Rotten had announced, "I don't work, I just speed." In 1994, only the drug of choice had changed. While punk rock, as heard in 1994, had its army of older detractors dismissive of what they regarded as a sanitized sound and safe parameters, at Winston Farm the scene was one of authentic chaos. For many an older head, chaos was the genre's key currency. It was chaos that John Lydon, the one-time Johnny Rotten, summoned at the Ritz in New York in 1980, when his band, Public Image Limited, performed behind a curtain as he goaded the audience to riot by repeating the words, "Silly fucking audience," over and over again. Duly, they obliged. That same year, it was chaos that spilled out onto the thoroughfares of Times Square following a series of dangerously oversold shows by The Clash. The scene at Winston Farm, though, was chaos on an epic and dangerous scale. With gleeful abandon, Green Day provided the avenue through which an already testy and volatile crowd could express its frustrations. Billie Joe Armstrong would later opine that, "I don't think we played that well at Woodstock '94, as if this was somehow the point." By the time the trio had begun to slog their way through the normally definitive groove of "When I Come Around," the sky was filled with clumps of mud launched toward the stage. By the end of the song, the platform on which Green Day were by now attempting to perform resembled a painting by Jackson Pollock. Amid scenes that were by turns farcical and fearsome, stagehands attempted to cover the stage in sheets of plastic. In an equally futile gesture, Billie Joe Armstrong abandoned his guitar in order to return at least a few clumps of mud in the direction from whence they came, all the while singing the words and the melody to Twisted Sister's pleasingly brainless anthem of bedroom rebellion, "We're Not Gonna Take It." "Look at me, I'm a fucking idiot," he announced, describing either the people in the audience or himself, or possibly both. After 45 febrile minutes, Green Day left the stage. In attempting to do so, Mike Dirnt was tackled by a security guard. The collision sheared his front teeth. Prior to his band's arrival that Sunday afternoon, Billie Joe Armstrong's greatest concern was that the slurry at his feet would ruin his box-fresh pair of black Converse. Such thoughts now seemed many miles removed. Leaving behind a stage in a state of some destruction, Green Day were expedited from Woodstock '94 by helicopter, a mode of transport of which the frontman was terrified. Woodstock '94 was about the closest thing to anarchy I've ever seen in my whole life, Armstrong told the author in 2004, and I didn't like it one bit. This, though, was also beside the point. Spearheading a new breed of punk rockers, in upstate New York, Green Day had orchestrated a riot of their own. The one thing on which the dozens of people interviewed for this book are all agreed is the fact that up until 1994, any musician who decided to form a punk rock band was making a poor career choice. Metal bands made money. Hip-hop collectives made money. Country singers made money. But for many of its practitioners, punk rock did not guarantee a living. Today it seems strange to write such a paragraph. Following the release of Dookie and Smash, anyone forming a punk band did so with the knowledge that it was possible to become wealthy.